Welcome back to Breaking the Chains Healing from Physical and Emotional Abuse. Donations help my podcast grow larger and produce more smoothly. Also, you can purchase my merchandise by clicking the link in the description below. This is season 4, episode 3. And thank you all so much for your continued support. Again, I am your host, Kelly. Today's topic will be transitioning into the healing process from physical abuse. Physical abuse in a partnership is when a man or woman physically hurts their partner. Also, your abuser threatens to hurt you, your child or children, and pets. If you choose to stay with your physical abuser, it will not change the abuser's toxic actions. Also, you are enabling your abuser's physical abuse when you remain with him or her. Enabling your abuser's toxic characteristics means that the physical abuse will become consistent and more aggressive. It isn't false allegations when the domestic violence is persistent from your abuser. Your abuser will most likely state to you, "You will never find another great man or woman." This is so untrue. Your abuser will try to persuade you that you are too broken, so another man or woman will not pursue a relationship with you if you left him or her. That is so far from reality. The domestic violence reveals the true toxic traits of your abuser. When a victim has endured years of physical abuse, then it lowers their self-esteem. Their physical abuser has instilled so many lies into their victim's mind. Most victims stay in a physical abusive relationship is because they believe they aren't worthy of true love and respect. Some victims of domestic violence truly believe that his or her abuser will change. Actually, your abuser will not change physically abusing you. Actually, hold on, let me restate that. Actually, your abuser will not stop physically abusing you. Do not stay in a physical abusive relationship. An abuser will not change his or her behavior even though you have bruises, black eyes, broken nose, and slap marks. Your abuser will not take any accountability for their domestic violence. He or she will blame their victim for the physical abuse, and that is gaslighting. If you have a child or children with a physical abuser, you would not want your kids to witness the domestic violence. Also, a victim of physical abuse will not want their children to be in danger. Statistics prove that 1 in 15 children, which means 90% of children, are witnessing domestic violence in their homes. I'm going to state that again because that actually is so shocking. However, it's so true. Statistics prove that 1 in 15 children, which means 90% of children, are witnessing domestic violence in their homes. Also, recent statistics in the United States, 12 million men and women are prey to physical abuse. I'm going to restate that too. Also, recent statistics in the U.S., 12 million men and women are prey to physical abuse. That means 20 people every minute become a victim of domestic violence. You should escape immediately because the domestic violence will not stop. Find a very safe place to stay to protect yourself from harm and to protect your child or children from domestic violence. You should immediately file a protective order, also known as a restraining order, to provide safety for you and your kids. I am going to state 11 healing processes that you can take and actions you can take to help as you recovered from your physical abuse. Number one, when you are a victim of physical abuse, you must leave the relationship immediately. The reason you must leave your physical abusive partnership is to repair the damage that your abuser has caused you. Also, a victim of physical abuse will regain his or her self-worth after leaving your abuser. 2. You must acknowledge all the physical abuse that occurred to you while you were with your abuser. Don't be afraid to admit the extent of physical harm that took place during your physically abusive relationship. Your abuser will try to convince you that all the physical abuse that happened to you was your fault or that it was all in your head. All of these statements are false, and it is their gaslighting technique. Also, if the victim has a child or children, then your child or children witnessed the physical abuse too, and they are healing from the traumatic events from the physical abuse that he or she witnessed. 3. Always be kind to yourself. The physical abuse that you endured is all your abuser's fault, not yours. Never blame yourself for the physical abuse that occurred to you. Always remember there's nothing differently that you could do in a physically abusive relationship to change your abuser's actions. Remind yourself daily that you are courageous, determined, beautiful or handsome, and deserve the utmost respect from a relationship. 4. Find a professional therapist. It's best for a victim of physical abuse to find a therapist or counselor that you feel really comfortable with him or her when talking about all the physical abuse that happened in your abusive partnership. When a victim of physical abuse begins speaking about his or her traumatic events about the physical abuse, then you begin to start healing by learning that you aren't to take the blame for the physical abuse. 5. Creating a safe place for you and your children. You begin to take a different route to work or college. Change your appointments that your abusers know about. Keep your cell phone on you at all times and charged. Install a security system and file a restraining order if necessary. 6. Keep a journal. A victim of physical abuse, by writing in a journal, will help you process and understand the trauma that you endured. Also, you can go into detail all the physical abuse that happened during your abusive partnership. You will feel that you are in your safe zone so you can express all of your emotions in your journal. 7. Explore creative outlets to express your feelings. Also, you can write poetry, compose music, draw or paint to convey your emotions from the physical abuse that happened during your abusive relationship. When you're using these creative expressions, then you will begin to feel stronger and empowered. 8. Replace your negative thoughts with positive thoughts. A victim of physical abuse would begin to think negative thoughts about themselves. However, you must replace it with positive thoughts. For example, you will begin to think that you are damaged and nobody will want a relationship with you. So you must start to say and proclaim to yourself daily positive characteristics about yourself. Like, I am courageous, smart, beautiful or handsome, determined, humble, and worthy to be loved and treated with the utmost respect. 9. If you are experiencing a lot of anxiety, getting help for your anxiety. A victim of physical abuse will experience anxiety. There is nothing wrong with seeking help with a professional if your anxiety is extreme. It isn't your fault if you encounter anxiety, especially since you have so much trauma from all the physical abuse. 10. Lean on a trusted friend or family member. You can find a family member or friend that you can talk to about your physical abuse without judgment. Also, you need to talk to a family member or friend that you feel comfortable speaking about your physical abuse when you are feeling discouraged. 11. Nurturing your mind and body. A victim of physical abuse should make sure that you get adequate amount of sleep or rest. Also maintain well-balanced meals so that you can continue with much strength during the day and night. It's best for you to have adequate amount of sleep or rest to remain strong mentally and physically. I am so proud of your determination for leaving your physically abusive relationship. You are very strong, independent, smart, beautiful, handsome, loving, brave, patient, great mother or father, great listener, ambitious, empathetic for hurting people, bold, courageous, spiritual, faithful, trustworthy, humble, virtuous man or woman. You are uniquely and divinely created. You can state these positive characteristics about yourself daily or more than once daily as you are transitioning into your healing process after your physical abuse. Thank you so much for listening to Season 4, Episode 3. And the topic of this episode again was called Transitioning into the Healing Process from Physical Abuse. Donations help my podcast grow larger and produce more smoothly. Also, you can purchase my merchandise by clicking the link in the description below. Again, thank you all so much for your support, and I hope you all have a great night.